Meta Xbox headset on the horizon, taking the Pimax, and Apple cutting the production shipment predictions for the Apple Vision Pro? No way. So I hope you're ready. Let's do it, Lily.
Always ready, always willing. Let's make it happen once again for science. And, subs, and views, and watch time, and sales, but mostly for science.
Okay, Meta is opening Quest operating system to third-party headsets, marking a massive shift in strategy, a very interesting talking point, I think you'd agree. I'm going to be interested in hearing what you guys' thoughts are in terms of the motivation for doing this, what the implications will be. Will this be better or worse for VR or XR? But let's read the article a little bit, shall we, to help you consider these things in the first place. So as ever, I highlight pieces to kind of condense it a little bit. Hopefully it makes sense what I've highlighted as I explain it. So sharing a common operating system. Now I've kind of got 4 linked articles here. I don't know how I'm going to segment them or put them together or not. So some pieces have parts that are highlighted that are skipping some parts because the other parts fill those bits. So maybe this whole thing goes together. I'm not sure. But we'll start with this piece of the article. But essentially, at the top, they basically say that they're going to open it up to third-party makers such as Asus, Lenovo, Xbox, as an example, aka Microsoft. So that's the kind of core of it. Sharing a common operating system means all these headsets will be able to draw not only the XR tech. Now XR again is extended reality. In case you don't know, it's the same as VR, but XR covers the whole thing, including virtual reality, mixed reality, spatial computing, which is the Apple Vision thing, which is basically an advanced form of mixed reality, or a faster version of it. And then what was the other one? VR, did I say VR already? Virtual reality, where you're in the thing itself. So if you see XR, that's what it is. I'm sure everyone knows this already, but I thought I might as well say just in case, so you kind of get a ideology of what they're saying when they say XR. They mean everything that is extended reality that isn't flat. XR tech that Meta has built, like tracking, interface, place-based boundary, and more. So essentially all the things like make sure you don't smash yourself in your knees in a desk or your arms into a table or what have you, will be available out of the box by using the Meta tech here. Meta says it's rebranding its content library to the Meta Horizon store. Meta also says all headsets running Meta Horizon OS will share the same social layer, allowing users to use their existing accounts, avatars, and friends list no matter which of the headsets they choose. Very interesting. I guess kind of similar to what you have with mobile and Android, where it carries through whatever maker you use, whatever device manufacturer you use, all of your stuff carries through, your lists, your information, your contacts, and so forth. It's a similar ideology. I guess the idea is they're going with the same approach as Google has with Android with the Horizon OS now, which is interesting, right? And there's an irony to that and so forth, but again, I don't want to go ahead of myself because all the different articles link, and I want to make sure that each segment is relevant. If I segment them, I want to make sure they're relevant and I'm not just repeating myself, so to speak. So I have to kind of be careful, but we've got to kind of order it out. So I just got to figure it all out. We just can do a clean transition from one to the next. If we're just going to put them together, and if we're going to do them separately, then we can do that as well. But anyway, it's unclear this time if Meta Horizon OS will be openly available to any company that wants to use it, or if Meta will only grant access to select companies, as is the case thus far. The strategic move by Meta is no doubt an emulation of the Android model, as I was kind of foreboding here earlier, in which Google offered up its Android operating system for smartphone makers to use with their own hardware. Doing so created a huge variety of smartphones, all sharing a compatible software ecosystem, which made the collective pool of attractive marketplace, but I said that wrong, a collective pool of an attractive marketplace for developers. I'm sure I still said that wrong, you get the idea. And heaps of cash and market power for Google. I like the cash bit. Use our Amazon links if you're buying anything, yeah guys? Google and Samsung have been cooking up some kind of headset of their own, and surely have the same play in mind. But in a sense, Meta is beating them to the punch here, with the added irony that Meta Horizon OS itself is based on Android. So this is the article that makes that interesting point here. And we are using, is it RotorVR? RotorVR.com, because I don't want to get in any kind of, drama and so forth. So we are using their article to make the content on fair use, of course, because we're transforming it completely by adding loads of thoughts, of interesting thoughts, ideologies, and fluff in between. so we're safe as houses. So it's very interesting because as a few of you told me, because I'm learning as I'm making here. I'm a hustler, if I'm honest with you. You know, I kind of learn on the go. But you guys are educating me, probably even more than I'm educating you. And as you guys have told me, that the actual operating system of Meta itself, Quest headsets itself, is using Android technology. When we was having that whole friendly fight about the whole sideloading thing, sideloading still not native, even if it is easy. Okay, I win that fight, so I don't care. I'm not joking. Whatever. But the point is that they're using Android's technology to do what Android's done with their own technology. I don't know, man. I kind of like that. It's kind of cheeky. With the release of Apple Vision Pro and now Meta offering up its operating system to third parties, the comparison to early smartphone wars of Android versus iPhone cannot be avoided. Ultimately, the fierce competition of that era resulted in a rapid innovation of mobile hardware and software, leading to smartphones being a daily part of nearly every person's life. Will the same thing happen with XR headsets? I think it will definitely happen if they can make them into glasses and not or something else rather than them being these heavy, semi-heavy things on our head. It's dope technology, but it's still not as convenient yet as the phone. But this will definitely go a long way to making that a reality, I think. And we do have a discussion point, a news article to talk about a rumor very similar to the PlayStation VR 2 production news thing that we spoke about previously in the previous episode of the podcast that I spit on my monitor here. You guys can't see that if you're listening only. Appreciate you. But we've got an interesting story to talk about with that. But for this particular story here, my thoughts are I think this is an interesting development. I think it's a smart move. It's worked for Google. Why shouldn't it work for Meta? And it will help the innovation of things. It will help the cost of things and everything else because it will be a lot cheaper to make headsets if you don't have to start from scratch with your own technology and so forth, or starting from scratch with Android technology and so forth. So this is I think it's a really cool and smart move by Meta here. And I think it will help the development of the XR VR movement, as we will inevitably, as long as they open it up enough, see a lot more headsets and a lot more affordable ones. It should also hopefully drive the technology in terms of R&D and making it more easier and more accessible, more affordable, and hopefully more convenient with like lighter technology, less heavy technology, and just generally, I suppose, safer to use over longer periods without those nosebleeds, as they mention in Assassin's Creed and Nexus VR. I've never had a nosebleed, by the way. I'm just kind of joking a little bit. Has anyone ever had a nosebleed from VR? I think that's I've never had that. Thank God. It's an interesting development. What do you guys think about this? Share in the comments. I'm sure you got lots to say and lots of thoughts about it. Sometimes we look in the comments, kind of a new thing we've started to do, and let's do that. NLVR says, sounds great. He or she is a man of very few words, kind of a lot like Lily, because of budget cuts. I don't let her say a lot, actually. Virgin here, who's got a picture of Gabe Newell wearing a headset. That looks like a Meta Quest 3. Yes. Says Valve Decard running Meta OS soon. Valve Deck running Meta OS soon, I think is what he's saying here. What's Decard? Is that some kind of tool emulation? I don't know. Decard. If Decard happens, it will rather have Steam OS than OS. So that's something I don't even know about. You guys tell me what that is. I don't know what that is. Decard. Is that some kind of new hardware or not hardware on top of the Steam OS or something? Let's see here. This one's got, so those ones had what, 4 votes, so 2 votes, and the second one 3 votes, 1 dislike here. This is Kiri. Is that MacGyver or MacVR? MacGVR? Zuck just won't let the horror show known as Horizon die. LOL. And now other AIOs are going to be saddled with a shitty UI too. Huh? Terrific. That's just terrific. And it's got a whole bunch of symbols underneath. I don't know what the heck they are. That's the comment section on share you guys' thoughts. And I will let Lily, who's Lily? That's Lily's cousin. I'll let Lily share hers now.
Meta's leap to share the Quest OS with third-party headsets is like opening Pandora's box. In a good way, I think. Think wider variety. Think innovation. With big names like Asus, Lenovo, and Xbox jumping into the mix, we're in for some real next-level gear. And that Meta Horizon Store rebrand? Can't wait to see how this shakes things up. Meta Horizon OS could be the game changer that brings VR into every home. What do you think, Intergens? Is this the dawn of a VR revolution?
So very much a first world problem, but a problem nonetheless. I am not sure whether we put this all together or separate it or what, because this kind of linked to one of the topics we've spoken about at this point. I've already recorded, depending on what order you're watching things and what order I put things in. But essentially, Meta have opened up the technology that powers the Quest to third parties such as, was it Asus, Lenovo, and Xbox. This part of the stories around this is that Meta themselves are confirming that they will continue to make Quest headsets, even as it offers the OS to select third parties, as it has there in brackets. So far it's not open to anybody. So all of you guys that were planning your VR headsets at the moment, not quite happening yet, unless you're going to be using some other technology. You're going to have to start from scratch, unless Meta opens it up to everybody, or you've got lots of money or friends, or you sleep with the right people. But this part of the story of the equation is talking about Meta confirming that they're going to continue to make headsets, which I think is a good thing. Again, something for you guys to digest and discuss in my comments system. It is free and it will make you feel better about life. And if you're listening on like Spotify or something like that, or Apple, I don't even know if you can even comment on anything, but you can leave a review and say how wonderful the podcast is and how it's changed your life, how it made you a 5-figure earner in the space of 4 weeks. Probably don't do that, actually. I don't want to get into it. Anyway, so Meta will continue to push the boundaries of mixed reality device capabilities through our Quest portfolio. A Meta spokesperson said, so it must be true. Obviously it's true. Yeah, I mean. Anyway, so I'm just reading the bits I've highlighted to make it succinct as much as the watch time is appreciated as we make our way onto becoming another YouTube social media millionaire, getting monetized, getting mad ad money, where I'm just going to put ads in every second of the video. You're just going to get bombarded with ads, and then I'm going to get a bunch of sponsorships, and then I'm going to bombard you with that just in case you're using an ad block or using premium. So keep supporting, keep watching, get that watch time up, guys. Like, share it with friends, family, pets that know how to use phones. It's all great as well if you're watching or listening on a phone. I better stop with this. Where are we? So indeed, Quest has been positioned as Meta's line of headsets, while Horizon has been positioned as a software platform overall. Previously, Quest was essentially used for both the headsets and the platform. So then the termage has been changed now. So when you're talking about the Quest now, you're going to be talking about the headset itself. When you're talking about Horizon, you're talking about the tech, the software behind it. But won't that mean Meta will be competing with its own hardware partners? Well, yes. But for now, it seems the company imagines there's enough room for specialized headsets from its partners, like different headsets for gaming, exercise, or work, or other things, without too much overlap. So again, most of the time we're taking these articles from Road to VR because I like the fact that they've got a common system, and I always trust a source more when they have a common system, even though our website doesn't have a common system, not because I don't trust my own sources, but because I just have a technical issue with it. Unfortunately, it doesn't come as standard in my website builder. Just in case you're going to call me out on that. Yeah, I got to update the website anyway. We haven't put enough articles and stuff. The other sites are up to date, but we haven't put articles and things like that I plan to. But it's tough when you're running an international syndicate business, as I am, you know. Anyway, although Meta has said it wants to be the Android of XR. So I made an explanation of what XR is. Think of XR as almost the same as VR, in case you're wondering. It's just that short for extended reality. I'm sure all of you know already. The decision to make Horizon OS available only to select partners flies in the face of the Android open source project, which is what the operating system or the software is powered by for the Horizon platform in the first place, in case you're wondering. I just learned that recently myself because you guys educate me on this stuff. I just work here, which is truly open source and available for anyone to use, even you, for free. Though it doesn't include some of Google's key services like the Play Store. So you don't get the Play Store though, unless you kind of like make friendly. But otherwise, you can use it for free and make your own things and then give me a 10% cut. This is ironic, of course, because Meta's Horizon OS itself is based on the open source version of Android. So again, talking about that irony, it's like, at least in the other segment, it's interesting. I'm glad that they're going to be continuing to make headsets. I'm not surprised that they're going to. But do you guys think that this is going to make it harder, easier, beneficial for Meta, opening up the technology, letting others build headsets that are potentially better while still building more Quest headsets for us? I mean, generally the consensus is that competition is good, at least for the consumer, and it helps push the technology. because then you have to step your game up. You don't just have it to yourself. You can't just participate and chill. So I think it's a good thing from that perspective as well. And generally speaking, the Quest headsets are good. The PlayStation VR headsets are good. So we want more of these things. And anything that encourages... I think my throat's getting a bit dry, guys. I'm sorry. And I'm not editing that out. I've been talking for 20 minutes. I think that any technology that allows people to make more, even as competition for the people providing it, is a good thing, because it hasn't exactly hurt Google. So it shouldn't hurt Meta, right? Agree? Disagree? Share your thoughts on this in the usual places. I don't know where you're listening or watching from. If you're watching and listening on YouTube, then obviously you know what to do. Share it with me and Lily, or forever hold your pieces. And either way, then no one will care. Well, people will care if you share. So do share. But if you don't share, no one will care. Remember, if you don't share, you lose anyway. You only lose when you don't take your opportunities, not when you fail. That's some wisdom from Uncle Integer there. Lily, share your piece, and we'll move on to the next part, depending on what order this video is in.
Oh, this is spicy. Meta's strutting its confidence by continuing to roll out its own Quest headsets while playing nice with other hardware makers. They're essentially saying, come play in our sandbox, but we're still building the best sand castles. This strategy might just keep Meta as the top dog in the XR pack by fostering an ecosystem where they hold the reins. A bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off for them, or if it'll lead to a clash of titans in the VR realm. What's your take, team? Do you think Meta will stay the king of the hill?
Lily, it's our third episode. I think it's time we give the audience another dose of your amazing, fantastic VR, XR tips of the week. But just one, but keep the budget at a certain level.
For this week's VR XR tip on the JustVRGaming podcast, let's talk about comfort. Super important, right? To avoid VR fatigue, make sure to take regular breaks and adjust your headset for the perfect fit. Nobody wants a VR headache derailing their adventure, so keep it comfy and keep it cool.
It's very tricky when you're covering a story that is linked from many angles in a podcast, because you're at risk of sounding redundant, repeating yourself, or just stretching for watch time and listen time. So I have to try and make sure that I'm covering this properly in a proper way. But I think, again, all of these that I picked are different angles in the same story, so I think they're worth covering. For this particular part, we are speaking specifically about Asus, Lenovo, and Xbox being the official first partners to be taking advantage of Meta's announcement to letting third parties use their backend for creating their own XR headsets, that is Horizon. So Meta, they announced once again that they're opening the operating system to third parties, and has named 3 heavyweights that have pledged support for its newly renamed Meta Horizon OS: Asus, Lenovo, and Microsoft's Xbox. In a blog post, Meta says it's tapped Asus Republic of Gamers to develop an all-new performance gaming headset. I need to belch. Oh man, that's dinner coming up right there. Lenovo to develop mixed reality devices for productivity and learning and entertainment, and Xbox to create its own limited edition Quest. Now this is a problem, because depending on how I use that kind of headline thumbnail, if I use that thumbnail here, I've got to make sure that people don't get twisted out of shape about clickbait and all this stuff as usual. Ah man, these internet bitches. But it doesn't sound as extensive as the thumbnail may have implied. But it's still pretty cool. Who doesn't want a Quest Edition, limited edition, Xbox orientated Quest? Everybody wants that. Liken it to a more Android style approach as opposed to Apple's walled garden approach with iOS and Apple Vision Pro. Man, everyone's after Apple, huh? Admittedly, Meta doesn't appear to be opening this OS up to just anyone. Again, sorry to any of you guys that had your ideas for your VR XR headsets that you keep sending me. I'm not giving you any money to make them. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to do it yourself. These are tough times. Speaking of tough times, don't forget to check out JustVRGaming.shop. We have affordable things that will probably make you not rich, but it won't make you broke, and it will make you feel warm and happy inside. Now, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has, however, said they're working with more OMEs so they may list, or even so that list may be expanding fairly soon. All of these devices will benefit from our long-term collaboration with Qualcomm Technologies Inc., company who sounds like a form of fish eggs, which builds the Snapdragon processors that are tightly integrated with our software and hardware stacks. It's getting super technical, isn't it? Xbox's pledge to create the limited edition Quest will be interesting to watch. Although it could just be a simple branding deal, it may also be the opportunity for Xbox to use it as a nucleation. What the hell? Nucleation? Right, wait there. Scott, dude, seriously? That's like a big word. No, I lost the spot where I'm at. Where was we, guys? Nucleation. Oh, there it is. Use it as a nucleation site for eventually integrating XR headsets into the Xbox ecosystem, or beyond Meta's previously added support for Xbox Cloud Gaming on Quest, which lets players play 2D virtual screen in mixed and virtual reality, which I still haven't covered yet. I gotta make that happen. You guys demand this from me. You demand better from your VRers. What's more, all of the OEMs working with Meta will have built VR headsets before. This includes manufacturers Lenovo, Asus, Samsung, Acer, HP, and Dell. Microsoft, of course, is also among them, who subsequently shut down the Windows mixed reality platform in late 2023. Did any of you guys buy the Windows mixed reality thing? And was you sad about it being shut down? And also, was you surprised? Sometimes Microsoft has problems with real innovative stuff, don't they? Which is probably why Xbox is as boring as it is. Functional but boring. Let's discuss this. What do we think about this, guys? Are you looking forward to this Xbox limited edition Quest VR headset thing? It does sound like it's just it does sound like it's just like a plate or something, or some kind of like, I don't know what that's going to entail. It doesn't sound very deep. It does sound like it's just a branding thing, and I'd be surprised if it led to Microsoft going into the VR game again, especially with the games itself. There was a news article I saw that was suggesting that they're got no plans to take Hellblade 2 and make it VR. So don't get too excited about the Microsoft Xbox special edition, limited edition Quest. It sounds like it's just going to be an edition of Quest you can buy on Amazon. There are Amazon links within 24 hours of clicking that you could buy and have a limited edition Xbox branded lime green with probably camo version of a Quest headset, probably the Quest 3, not very exciting. Or is that exciting to you? Let me know if you guys are excited about that. Also, of all of them, Asus, Lenovo, Xbox, do any of those jump out at you as exciting or important, or somebody that could give Meta, ironically, a run for their money in the arena as one of the companies that have been selected for this? And also, do you believe in love after love? I don't know why that came in my head. I can see something inside you say, I really don't think your ex are enough now. Do you believe in love? Alright, I'm sorry guys. Sometimes this happens. Oh boy. It's really gonna affect the push for monetization. I'm so sorry. We'll probably get demonetized as well on account of the bad singing. But do you guys believe? What the hell was I gonna say? Do you believe? Not in love. It will come to me. It will come to me. So I get for being silly. I had to pause for a second. I think it's come back to me maybe. Do you believe in the Apple approach of the walled garden that gives you at least a consistency? Things just work, so on and so forth. Someone that's finally experienced a Mac versus a Windows, it does offer quite a bit of stability, and things do run a lot fast when it's run with that kind of console-like architecture and so forth. But do you believe that it's anti-consumer, essentially, with the way that it's locked off? They've been getting a lot of attacks and court cases and all sorts with their walled garden, so to speak, approach to things. Do you prefer this approach by Meta and Zucks? Is Zucks now a good guy? Is Zucks becoming more popular among the people and among yourselves? Do you like what they're doing here? I think this is I think it's interesting. I think anything that brings us more headsets, more market saturation, more options, it's got to be a good thing. It's a really nice looking Steam Deck thing from MSI right there that I'm seeing. Ooh, very nice. So I imagine a similar thing will happen with the VR in this ad here. Like it'll be like, you'll start seeing these headsets that's looking pretty sweet. But especially if there's a bunch of price points and stuff like that, it could be pretty, well, again, sweet. So you guys agree? You guys think that's a good thing? There's loads of things to quail over here. Why did I say quail? Because of Qualcomm. Loads of things to quail over here. Let's take a look at some of the comments, some of the popular comments. Is this the best comments? Am I too early on some of these stories? Like 2 likes and stuff like that? Let's just go with it. I don't know what I'm going to get here. Nevitz. Does this mean the game library will be available on these alternate peripherals? Now, I don't know if I've covered that part or not yet, but from what I understand, or what I may have said already, that is the case. It will be available, apparently. And as Isaac is confirming here, yes, and they'll have access to the same core software and platform services. So yes, it will be. That's why I've understood it as well. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about your comments and so forth. It's a very opposite approach to Apple. Mike here says, what about Pimax Crystal? Could we finally see a purpose to their standalone headset? I've had a look at this Pimax, and there's a story I could cover about it. I don't know if I'll cover it in this episode or not. You'll know if you are watching the full thing, I guess. What I saw was it was like $2,400, so it's practically another Apple Vision thing, and people are sweating over getting a Quest, very much less a Pimax. Sounds like some kind of Max product or something. But anyway, response here, let's see. It says the new Crystal models, Lite and Super, are pure PC VR with no standalone function, as the Qualcomm XR2 and battery has been removed. With a portable handheld console also being dropped, it's probable the standalone store that only had a dozen apps is being quietly sunsetted. So that sounds not so great on the Pimax side of things. Someone was mentioning the Pimax in the comments on one of the videos. It's not sounding too great for them. Another one. I'm impressed with my pronunciation there, because with a J, that's one, right? This is too like, too dislike though. This doesn't make any sense. Since Quest hardware is subsidized, where's the profit for third-party hardware manufacturers? Well, one, let me explain it to you. How does it work? It works in the terms of the saturation of the product itself. If more people are used to using VR devices and it becomes commonplace and it becomes easier to sell the software behind it and to sell the hardware as well itself, it also drives the cost down as the technology becomes better and the knowledge base becomes better and the production becomes cheaper as the saturation point increases. So essentially, you don't necessarily lose money by having competitors use your backend and your store and have access to your store and so forth, especially if you have products that you've made that you get money off, and especially if you're getting a cut of the payments made in that store, as is typical with these app stores generally. And I imagine Meta will be getting a cut from all of that as well. If that's what he was saying, let me know if I've just nailed it or not there, guys. Black Sea. Oh gosh, that sounds almost like it's something else, but that's what it's pronounced as BLAXC. Black XC? Black XC? Oh boy. Specialized headsets should be much better for their advertised use case than a Quest. That would be a unique selling point. Okay. And this person here, only trolls hide comments. Who gives a shit? This is a win-win for consumers, developers, and XR enthusiasts. Why is the financials of the participating companies even a concern of yours? Wow. Living by name there. I think we'll stop there on the comments. You guys can read more. It's getting in a little bit spicy in there. A little bit spicy for my podcast. I'm even gonna remember to beep these shits. So let me know what you think in the comments. Lily, share your thoughts as ever.
Asus, Lenovo, and Xbox jumping on the Meta OS bandwagon is like the ultimate team-up episode. Excitement overload. This is seriously leveling up the playing field. With Qualcomm chips powering these headsets, it's like putting a turbocharger in a sports car. But what's really got me curious is how Xbox will integrate with this new ecosystem. Cloud gaming in VR could be a game changer. We're looking at a future where switching from 2D to virtual reality is as easy as saying arigato to your AI assistant. VRers, are you ready to choose your player in this epic game? Because things are about to get unreal.
And you won't be surprised to know that this episode is sponsored by, well, yours truly, the Integer, aka JustVRGaming, bringing to your attention the very cool websites that we have available for you that will contain and contains many cool VR related things, from articles to PDF, books, some free, some paid supporting the channel, and the JustVRGaming.shop as well. It has all manner of cool merch to be showcased soon enough once I can afford my own merch, and many other cool stuff. So do check those out, support the channel. Some options are free as well. You can use our Amazon links if you're going to buy any of the VR stuff that we talked about, any of the devices and so forth. Yeah, use the link within 24 hours of clicking and it will count, and you'll be supporting the channel for free, and you'll allow me to make more videos, more regular, more sooner, and you'll be able to also upgrade Lily GPT's infrastructure so she can give even more unpredictable responses. Okay, so for all of you people that have been telling me that I'm not allowed and shouldn't report on negative stories about the PlayStation VR 2 despite loving the product, A, there's still no good stories on the PlayStation VR 2 right now. I just report what's interesting. And B, now we have an Apple Vision Pro one. Let me see you complain about that. You bunch of bitches. I'm not joking. Love you, really. Now you know. But, you know, I don't see people giving people shit who are doing the same stories, who are established or bigger names. They only seem to go after the solo guy that's doing the thing, because probably he's the only one that was probably responding to your comment in the first place, because he's not a bitch that's emotional about things, whether he likes it or not. It's not about validating people at the end of the day. It's about reporting what's what and giving your take on it. And you should be able to handle that, irrespective of whether you're an Apple fan, a Sony fan, a Meta fan, or whatever else. You have to be objective. And if you can't take objective reporting, that aims to be balanced. This is probably not the podcast or the channel for you. And what you do is you dislike the video, you hit the little free burger kebab thing and say, not recommend this channel anymore. And then you go into your history, your watch history, and you remove any of the videos that contain yours truly and Lily. And then you won't have it anymore. And then you can continue your life as a bitch. Or the bitch gene is a real thing. But you guys, the real guys, are not bitches and can handle constructive reporting of stories, irrespective of whether they're rumors or not. We will cover them as balanced as we can. This could also be just a rumor, because this is from macrumors.com. I don't know if that's a reputation place that has a good reputation here or not. But yeah, Apple cuts Vision Pro shipments as demand falls sharply beyond expectations. And this is a guy that is like an analyst, I believe. I don't know if he's good or not. It looks like it's a Chinese dude, or he's got a Chinese-like name. Man, I just made myself potentially unintentionally racist or ignorant. But anyway, Apple has dropped the number of Vision Pro units that it plans to ship in 2024, going from expected 700 to 800k units. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Okay, no. Okay, that said, that makes no sense. That's up. Going from an expected 700 to 800k units to just under 400 to 450k units, according to the Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kiao. Now, is that not a name that you would have thought was from Chinese or Taiwanese or something like that? Why does it even matter? Why am I even mentioning that? So this could be true, this might not be true. I don't know the pedigree of this analyst, but that's what it says a he, right? That's what he says. I think it's a he with a Ming-Chi. It could be either, couldn't it? I don't know. Why is this is going not in the direction I want it to go? Oh man, you guys get the idea. This sucks. All right. So they I'm surprised they were expecting to sell 400. I was expecting. I'm shocked they expect to sell 400,000 of these things. 400 there's 400,000 people that got $3,500. Where are these people? If you got $3,500 to spend on a Vision Pro, why are you not at our top tier of the VR Midnight Club membership? Literally, we're a fraction of that price. There is no way that any of you watching this has a Vision Pro or is buying one of them and is not a member of our exclusive VR Midnight Club Society. So go and check out JustVRGaming.shop. Otherwise, I don't want to hear your comments or nothing. You don't exist. You're nothing to me. Okay? There's no way you're buying this thing and you're not, giving the subscription to individuals that are going in the front lines, reporting the stories in a balanced, journalistic, professional kind of way, while taking shit from random people who typically make nothing and hide behind a fake profile while giving you shit for doing so and saying that you shouldn't report on anything other than the things that are good that they don't even click themselves, which doesn't make any damn sense. If you want people to make positive stories and what you call non-clickbait, even though I don't think I've ever done any clickbait really, make sure you actually click the things that are positive or good or what is your estimation right in the first place, rather than complaining and then not clicking anything else. You are the problem. Blame yourself, get angry at yourself. It's your weakness in being able to click the things that you believe should be clicked, that you should be angry at, not the people that understand the psychology of the click and made you click while still delivering in the title. As I said, the bitch gene is real. So orders have been made to scale back before the Vision Pro has launched in the markets outside of the United States, which Kiao says is a sign that demand in the US has fallen sharply beyond expectations. No shit. As a result, Apple is expected to take a conservative view of headset demand when the Vision Pro launches in additional countries. I think one of those countries is China, actually. It's going to be one of the few devices that are American that's going to launch in China, right? Even the US government doesn't care about them launching it in China like they do with the 4090. But again, this could be all BS. I'm sure angry Apple fans will tell me in the comments and tell me about how they're going to unsubscribe or they're not going to watch any more videos from the channel and how I'm a clickbait or whatever else. I'm going to cry all the way to NatWest Bank or Nationwide or Barclays or one of them. Anyway, Apple is expecting Vision Pro shipments to decline year over year in 2025 compared to 2024. And I mean, are they surprised? It's $3,500 if this is true. It's $3,500. Is this $3,500, right? You're buying this thing new, it's $3,500. It's like 3,250 or 3,300 pounds in UK money. That is right? I'm not dreaming here. Right? Let me know in the comments if this is correct, because this thing's expensive, right? I mean, even if we didn't just survive a COVID and inflation and a soft medium recession and have had a bajillion layoffs, this thing would still be expensive, right? Are you guys in agreement with me here, or am I on my own here? I feel like if any of this is true, like, no, this is a surprise, right? I'm feeling like I'm losing it here or something. Anyway, where are we? Apple's Vision shipments to decline year over year. We said that already. And the company is said to be reviewing and adjusting its headset production roadmap. Kiao does not believe there will be a new Vision Pro model in 2025. An adjustment to a prior report suggesting a modified version of the Vision Pro would enter mass production late next year. In a February report, Kiao said that Apple was working to improve the efficiency of production and supply chain management. Supply chain management. I thought it was supply chain management. Is that a typo? Is it meant to be supply chain or supply chain management? It says there, with little change to the product specifications and user experience. At the time, Kiao estimated that we would not see a Vision Pro with significant updates until 2027. Damn. Kiao believes that Apple needs to work to address the lack of key applications, price, and comfort without impacting user experience. Poor Vision Pro sales is expected to impact the growth of pancake lenses and the adoption of micro LED display technology in small-sized consumer electronics. Really? I think it's going to affect everywhere? I don't think it will if the price is right. Their prices, that's not going to affect things. It's going to affect Apple maybe, but it's not going to affect. Why is there an ad of a woman shaving her armpits? Replenish your skin. Oh, it's Dove, that's why. Dove rolls like that, don't they? They kind of show you everything ads. Anyway, yeah, why does that's not going to, do you guys think that's going to affect VR and XR in general? I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to at all, especially with what we've been speaking about previously, because now this is the fourth segment I'm recording, and the 3 segments previous, depending on what order I put it in, but the 3 were recorded were all meta-based stuff about them opening up the technology to third parties. So they're kind of going in the opposite direction of Apple right now, where Apple seems to be really getting beat up at the moment for their closed system that worked for them so well for so many years. They're getting taken into court every other minute now. Everyone's after them, from Epic to Google to whoever. Has Google been after them as well? Everyone's been after them pretty much. But yeah, $3,500. I mean, geez, you could get like a Quest 3, a PlayStation VR 2, a PS5, and still have money for like a mid-range PC maybe, if you had some stolen parts. Probably it's a lot of money. $3,500. You could be at the highest tier of the membership on JustVRGaming.shop. I mean, come on. So share your thoughts on this, guys. What do you think? Are you surprised if this is true? Because again, just like when we were reading about the production cuts with the PlayStation VR 2, they do angle it as rumors, no confirmation from the companies themselves. They don't tend to want to confirm these things. Why would you, I suppose, necessarily? Assuming it's true, if it's true, are you surprised? I wouldn't be surprised if this was true personally. Do you think that the price point of the Vision Pro was always going to was always going to make it inevitably find itself in a situation? And are you surprised that Apple thought they could sell 400,000 units of these things? Are there 400,000 people that can afford this thing? Where are they? Come to my channel. Give me some money. Give me money, bro. You know, Apple's all right. Put a tenner outside the studio and get a subscription instead, and save yourself much money. You can still get yourself a Quest 3 or a PlayStation VR 2. Much more value for money. Anyway, share your thoughts, guys. Those are things to mull over there. It looks like this page has got comments, so let's check them out. They're using a forum system by the looks of things. This should be interesting, because there's no votes, so I don't know how we're going to do this. Actually, no, let me go back. I'm pretty sure I saw it on the page itself. Yeah, here we go. No votes, but there we go. Top way, there is votes. It says top rated comments. Okay, cool. Oh, 64 votes. Like, perfect. This is Switcher. I like Switcher already because he's got a picture of a dude with his eyeballs going all over the place. Like he's just had something inserted in his lower posterior without consent. But that's not why I like him. It has a picture of a dude. I like him because he's got a 1 in his name, just like me, the integer. And I always trust people more when they have 1s in their name. He has the highest voted rated comment. He's quoted the part where it says orders have scaled back because of fallen interest in expectations in the US. He says here, whose expectations? Couldn't have been mine, as I expected very few buyers due to the high price and no compelling use case. That's another thing as well, as he says that. And to be honest with you guys, I'm still not convinced that wearing a headset for like 90 to 99% of things is ever going to be more efficient than just doing the thing with your hands on a keyboard or a mouse or a controller for the most part sometimes. Now, not with games, because games it makes sense because you're getting a different experience, especially as it gets more lighter and all the rest of it. But for work, I'm saying, for actual work and productivity, I feel like that's always going to be a slower workforce. It's not going to be a workforce that can be using a bunch of Apple Vision Pros and get work done as quickly as someone that's just not faffing around and gets shit done, right? In my humble of opinion. Do you agree with that? I mean, because that, you know, it's kind of, it seems kind of silly to me. I don't know. I never used one, so maybe I'm talking out of my lower regions. Another one here says, this is hard to believe. Why would Apple have expected to sell 800k units? Exactly. It doesn't solve anything. There's no killer app. It's uncomfortable and too expensive. Apple must know this is a glorified dev unit and work hard on 2.0. That sounds like solid opinion as well. Octopi. It's got a very creepy Voldemort picture. I think that's Voldemort. Let me know for any of the podcast viewers. Do Apple still not realize that not all of their customers are billionaires or even millionaires? $3,500, man, that will clear rent arrears for me right now. Price is not the issue. It's a lack of a use case. I think it is an issue. I think it's a bit of both. I think the price does make a difference. If it was, let's just say, for instance, if it was $100, I know that's a real far-fetched scenario, but let's just say it was $100. Technology, the chips and everything are a lot cheaper to make. It was $100. You probably will get it, even just for a laugh. So it's not the use case alone, it's the price. The price makes it prohibited. The price makes it even prohibited for it as a meme. There's a big difference between the Quest 2, that's like what, $200 now, permanent on the price, gets you into VR, you get a nice set of stuff in the box. From the outset, you don't have to buy as many accessories. I think the accessories have gone down in price in one of the articles as well now. You don't get mixed reality. You can't do Vision Pro stuff with it, but you know, that's affordable. You could save your money up from 2 weekends of work and grab one of those. You'd have to work for months on a normal wage just to get a Vision Pro, and then you're gonna feel really bad if you don't use it enough to justify the price. I mean, that's a car payment, you know, it's serious. And then I'll go one more comment here. This is Excite Me Please. Okay, that's a very dodgy name. Oh, he's got a picture of Kermit the Frog though, enjoying a lovely mug of what looks like Joe. I don't know what kind of Joe it is. Just insert your favorite brand of tea or coffee there. He's just drinking it away. Does Kermit the Frog drink tea or coffee? It looks like tea bag as well. Anyway, Excite Me Please says, it flopped. We can say it out loud. Fanboys and Apple apologists. It's okay. You can still love all your shiny Apple things and admit a product of theirs just didn't land the way they thought it would. Do you agree with this guy, guys? Do you agree with this guy? You know, all these Apple fanboys with their Apple stuff, these Apple saddles. You know, I'm showing on the camera right now my Apple keyboard. I got a story as to why I got the Apple Studio. It is very good. I know my graphics card is fixed. It's kind of not being used as much at the moment yet. I got to pay for it in a few months as well. I've said that story as well. Anyway, enough of that. Share your thoughts, guys, on this. And yeah, Lily, share your thoughts for them to ponder as well with your AI beautiful insightfulness and your beautiful 11 Labs voice.
The price tag is as high as Tokyo Tower. With the Vision Pro being more of a premium productivity and spatial computing tool, it's no shocker that the sticker shock has folks thinking twice. At those heights, it's battling in the business and enterprise airspace, not the usual consumer cloud. Apple's usually a whiz at creating must-haves, so maybe they'll recalibrate to match the market's altitude. For now, though, it seems like they might need to do a bit more to sweeten the deal, even for those big spenders. After all, it's all about getting that apple a day into everyone's daily tech diet, ne? Let's chat, Intergens. Do you think Apple's vision for Vision Pro is ahead of its time? Or is the price point the real reality check?
Okay, in my recording order, we're finally back to the meta stories, or the meta storyline. I've mixed up a bit and I've added an extra story we're going to talk about at the some point in the order of things, depending on how you're watching and where you're watching and what order. This one's talking about Meta's plan to blur barriers between App Lab and Horizon Store to core Android app developers. So App Lab is, I've seen it, I've not actually used it before. So, well, the article will say, so let's just read it and then we'll talk as we go. As I belch again. Wow, that was a big belch. I think the turkey mince is getting to me. As part of Meta's huge announcement today, the company says it's rebranding the Quest Store to the Meta Horizon Store. In doing so, the company plans to make it easier for developers to get their content onto the platform. As it stands today, the Quest Store only includes apps that Meta has allowed into the store on an individual basis. Then there's App Lab, which acts like an unlisted store. I guess this kind of reminds me of what Xbox had, something like that, where you could, I don't know if they still have it, I don't think they do, but they had like a kind of a store thing. It was like Xbox Indies, I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was like you could play games without, it was sort of checked by the community of other indies, but not by Microsoft themselves. But it wouldn't put you in the actual proper store itself. This kind of seems like a similar thing with App Lab. So unlisted store, customers can buy and download content from App Lab, but only if they know the exact name of the app or have a direct URL to the app's page. While Meta says its decision to gatekeep the main Quest Store was to keep app quality high, developers have long claimed that the process of getting an app into the Quest Store is opaque and burdensome. Now, if you're a developer watching this part, can you confirm if it is actually a pain to get your apps onto the Quest Store, the official store, if it is indeed opaque or burdensome? Or if you know someone that is a developer that said as much, that'd be interesting to know about. App Lab isn't going away, but now the company says customers will at least have a way to browse App Lab through the main Horizon Store, which is pretty cool, right? We're beginning the process of removing these barriers between the Meta Horizon Store and App Lab, which lets any developer who meets basic technical and content requirements ship software on the platform. App Lab titles will soon be featured in a dedicated section of the store and on all our devices, making them more discoverable to larger audiences, says Meta. Now, I've said before that I think it's a little bit easier now, but it was hard to find the PC VR stuff on Quest at one point in their official store, because all the stuff was just Quest. So when it says Quest stuff, usually what they're talking about is the wireless headset stuff. They're kind of more mobile level stuff, visually, I mean. When it's PC VR or Quest Link, you're talking at the more Steam VR experience type of thing, a PC VR experience. But it was kind of hard to find those things. And a lot of those things don't go on sale as often, actually, now I think about it, on the Quest itself. There is actively sales going on right now, by the way, at least in the UK side of things. I'm sure it's the same for the US as well. If the days haven't already passed, I think it's still got a few days at time of recording, depending on when this is out. This episode is being recorded. Should I date myself like this? On the 23rd of April, 2024, on a 11:25 p.m. cold night in the UK. So this is not exactly what developers want, but at least it's a step in the right direction. Meta also reaffirmed that it will allow apps from other platforms to be accessed through the Horizon Store, like Xbox Cloud Gaming for flat games and Steam Link for PC VR content. Now, that's pretty dope, right? And I guess that's what the interesting part of this whole thing is, that start to think about what you guys think about this. They got a picture here of like what looks like is how they're going to do it. Obviously, if you're listening at this point, this is useless to you, but for the viewing listeners, I guess you can see. Let me try and see if this looks like, yeah, it's App Lab there on the right. So it has buttons here for those that are listening only. It shows the App Lab in the mobile app. Maybe they did this in Figma or something. It shows on the main store page. What is that? That looks like the back one there is in the actual VR headset itself, where it shows home, fighting, games. Is that like fighting, like videos of people beating each other up, or games around fighting? Anyway, productivity, App Lab, action, sports, adventure, Quest Plus, which is their Game Pass service, and then filter, and it's got a picture of a chick in the corner, profile picture. And there's the store itself, the website, games, apps, entertainment, mixed reality, Quest Plus, and App Lab at the back. It's kind of giving you an idea of how it would look. As someone starts with a really loud ringing sound outside, that just freaked me out. I'm closing my damn window. Oh, it's the biker mice from Mars with their bells for some reason. I don't know why they're doing that when I'm trying to record. Sons of bitches. All right, no, they're not bitches, in case they're watching it. They're not sons of bitches. I don't want to get beaten up by a bunch of chicks, but they like to make noise whenever they come and like sing really badly. Almost as bad as my singing. Anyway, so that's the image there they're showing of how it actually looks, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of buttons there, but it's better than like having to go to a separate website, I would say. So let me know what you guys think about that. Meta also reaffirmed that it will allow apps from other platforms. I read that part already. And even though Meta Horizon OS is based on Android and can technically run side-loaded Android apps, before you guys mention your side-loading. Side-loading's cool, but it's not native, okay? I don't care how easy it is. You're not going to win on this. I will pee on you consensually. No, wait, that sounds really weird and creepy. Only if you're like a woman. But no, wait, I don't want to do that because that would be maybe like R. Kelly. I don't want to go to jail and shower with 100 naked dudes. Okay, let's just scratch shorts. Let's get us. Remember to cut this out. All right, and to cut this out of the recording. All right, good. All right, so yeah, Meta clearly wants that. Wait, no, I skipped a bit. Even though Meta Horizon OS Android can technically run siloed Android apps, the Google Play Store is not available on Meta's headset. Meta still clearly wants that, and is trying to signal that Google is the reason it hasn't happened yet. Wait, I thought it was the other way around. Why are they both playing hard to get? We encourage the Google Play 2D App Store to come to Meta Horizon OS, where it can operate with the same economic model it does on other platforms, says a representative of Meta. I added some bit in there. Meta says it's building a new spatial app framework to help Android app developers build and enhance their flat applications for XR. Now, when we hear the word spatial, you got to think of basically the Vision Pro in terms of spatial. That's what that typically means. So having flat apps be able to float and lock into places maybe while you're taking a dump or lying down, because you can lie down with your Quest now and do things. So that's good. Multitask while in bed. Crucially, the company says the framework will allow mobile app developers to use the tools they're already familiar with instead of learning a game engine like Unity, which powers the vast majority of immersive apps on the platform. So there, you can apply for early access from Meta itself. There's a link. So that's a mouthful, a lot of stuff there. Take another swig of my hot lemon water, because Uncle Inti's voice gets dry when doing these podcasts, man. I'm telling you. Imagine if we did one of these live. It'd be out of control. You guys would be out of control. What do you guys think of this? You like the idea of having the app lab and just a consolidation of all the different items and things that you can get and find them easily in the one place on the Meta store itself officially. And then thus, it should be easy to find the same things on all of the third parties that will be using the technology in one place as well, or at least be able to import it into their own library or own storefronts. I think it's great. Personally, I've already complained. I already said in my review that it was kind of difficult to find certain things on the Quest device. Some things that are available on the website are harder to find on the headset, and then vice versa. And it's annoying having all these different websites on this stuff. And this is one step closer to making that less annoying and more logical and convenient for the consumer. So do you guys agree with that? Do you think it's a good move? Do you use AppLab? Do you like AppLab? And if you're a developer, do you want it to be easier for you to get on the actual official store itself? Share all your thoughts. I know I ask many of questions of you guys, but they're important questions. There's not much comments in this one. It's not necessarily because I'm early. It's probably because it's not as hot a story. So maybe this is a bit of a puffin. I don't know. But I think it's an interesting discussion point nonetheless. Or is it just puffing? I don't know. Say if you think it's just puffing. As I belch under my breath again. There's not really much good stuff here. I'm not even going to bother reading the comments. There's nothing there. Lily, share your thoughts on it.
Meta's strategy here is like a neon sign on the info highway, inviting, bright, and pointing to new possibilities. They're making it easier for developers to get their apps out there, and that's great news for all of us in the VR. More visibility for AppLab titles means we'll get our hands on cool content that could have easily slipped through the net. And let's not overlook the big play here, courting Android app developers. Plus, they're teasing us with the potential for Xbox Cloud Gaming and Steam Link access. Now, that's a crossover I'm here for. What are your thoughts, folks? Ready to see the walls come down and the virtual world expand?
We're continuing the segment of quiz of the week for the podcast. Get ready for the question from Lily. And remember, you can answer this question in our community post link that should be linked in the places wherever we can link it, because you can watch this in multiple places. I just don't know where you'll be watching, but if you're watching on YouTube, look for the places where links usually live and answer there or in the comments. Hit them with it, Lily.
This week's JustVRGaming podcast quiz is as follows. And by the way, process of elimination might help you with this one. Your question is, who is considered the father of virtual reality for his early work on head-mounted displays? Is it A, Palmer Luckey, B, John Carmack, C, Jaron Lanier, or D, Mark Zuckerberg, Kaun o Inorimasu VRers?
So after talking about all this Quest stuff, all this Meta stuff, I should say, I thought it only right and maybe even a little bit lucky if we cover what the original Oculus founder, Oculus now known as Quest, founders, that's why it doesn't really fit there. The original Oculus founders reaction and thoughts to Horizon OS, or the announcement that Meta have decided to open up the technology to other providers, because it fits, and he's looking very dapper. I think he was a socks and sandals guy on stage, right? It was quite what's the word? Not artistic. A character. It was another word I was looking for. Fill it in the comments. You know what word I'm looking for. But anyway, this is what he thought. I've highlighted the interesting parts. So what does Oculus founder Luckey make of the news? Well, it's an I told you so moment a decade in the making, apparently. Luckey tells RotoVR that opening up the platform to third-party headset makers was explicitly our plan over 10 years ago, but Facebook would later pivot Oculus hard away from it. He points to an interview from 2004 in which Brendan Irby, CEO of Oculus at the time, I'm sure I'm murdering people's names, sorry, time reason, if we do want to get 1 billion people on virtual reality, which is our goal, we're not going to sell 1 billion pairs of glasses ourselves. We are openly talking to any kind of partner that wants to jump into VR, and there's a lot of interest right now. And the company did in fact pursue that strategy. In 2015, Oculus teamed up with Samsung, which released Gear VR. That thing you stuck into a device with your phone, put your phone really close to your face. I was saying you shouldn't even have your phone in your face every minute. But anyway, that's my big idea. The headset software platform, however, was made by Oculus, even though they made the hard shell themselves, Samsung apparently. Samsung released several iterations of Gear VR over the years, but ultimately the effort didn't find product market fit, and Samsung stopped the devices. Today, Luckey says, I always strongly believe that Oculus should endeavor to build a technology platform that supported every headset, even competitors like HTC, Vive, etc. This is always the correct strategy. Hopefully, it isn't too late, he says. Apparently, he's also made like a weapon that, like a weapon headset that can kill people as a cosplay art piece. So that's the word I was looking for. He was always an eccentric character. You know, he's an eccentric dude. But do you agree that that was the strategy 10 years ago? And is it too late? Do you think that Meta are too late opening up now, if that was the plan 10 years ago? And is it a good plan? Man, if they did it 10 years ago, imagine how different the climate of VR would have been. It would have been very different. So share your thoughts on that, just to mix things up. And there's not much, I was gonna say there's comments here, there's not much sexy comments, and we're on the best. I could refresh it, but there's like one like. Let's see. We got Virgin again with the Gabe Newell picture with the headset. I don't know if it's too late, but Palmer, it's never too late to deliver Ready Rift 1 for my CV1 that you sold to me. What? I don't get that joke. Anyway, I'm moving on. Kerry MGVR. As per usual, Lucky's probably right, but he and King Carmack got into it recently with our arse clown Boz. Surprised nothing on the RotoVR about. Oh yeah, I heard something about that. Where was that story? And this person responds, because who cares about two people who left the industry years ago? Damn. Yeah, so Carmack is just like a basically Doom and Quake and so on. He's just he's basically a walking calculator. He was like making rockets that go to space for fun in his spare time when we were playing video games and jerking off. So this Carmack's next level. So he's not exactly a nobody, or putting words into their mouth bit. Not exactly a nobody that's left the industry, but you know. There you go. That's the best of the comments I could find on that one. Share your thoughts. Is it too late? Is it a good play? And Lily will share her thoughts if necessary.
Looks like Palmer Luckey's giving a nod to the past with a pinch of I told you so on the Horizon OS news. His take? Openness was always the key. Meta's finally tuning into that original vision, though he's hoping it's not a case of too little, too late. In this fast-moving VR space, timing is everything. Let's cross our fingers and hope this open-door policy hasn't missed the XR train. After all, in the world of tech, the next station is always just around the corner. Let's keep it rolling.
So one of you in the community was mentioning the Pimax, and I only came across this device when I was researching for a video that I'm making. I haven't recorded it at this point, but it's in the list of things. I won't say too much about that. Maybe I'll say about more information about it for the members at JustVRGaming.shop, which does have somewhere along the line, somewhere where you can get a free month of behind the scenes for free, among other things, and massive discounts. So you should probably look around and check the community posts and so forth. But I think if you sign up to the newsletter, you get a free month. So you would know what I'm talking about if I make a behind the scenes around that. So Pimax, this is an interesting one because I saw it previously when doing the research for this video, and then one of you mentioned it in the comments. But from what I'm reading or what I've briefly read here, it doesn't sound like this thing's very good. and it sounds very expensive. But let's go through the article here. Pimax has 2 new headsets on the way, while older promises remain unfulfilled. Oh boy, and I need to belch again. Maybe I'll call this the title for this segment, Taking the Pimax, as a play on taking the piss. I don't know. Pimax announced 2 new PC VR headsets today, both said to be launching this year, but it's more than a year behind schedule on other products. A year behind schedule. Pimax has never been short on ambition, but its execution hasn't always kept up. That's a line from an article published on October 26, 2021. This is the article of Ben Lang of Road to VR, in case you're wondering. Not my article, his article, 2021. This channel didn't even exist in 2021, in which Pimax announced 3 major products. The Pimax Reality 12K headset, with a monstrous resolution estimated at 18.6 megapixels, that's like 5 by 3 per eye, and a massive 240-degree diagonal field of view, which is insane. A 60 gigahertz wireless add-on for streaming PC VR, and a console-like Pimax VR station for streaming PC VR content to its headsets. Pimax has said that at the time that it planned to launch a $2,400. Whoa! What is this, Apple? Headset in Q4 of 2022. Presumably the 60 gigahertz wireless add-on and the Pimax VR station would launch roughly around the same time. Today, during its announcement of the new Crystal Light and Crystal Super headsets, there was a brief mention of the Reality 12K headset in the 38-minute presentation. The Reality 12K is also still under development and will release an update on the blog soon. But hey, the company did at least give an update on the 60 Hz wireless add-on. It's now priced at $300, and the company has taken reservations with plans to launch in Q3 of 2024. As for the Pimax VR station, it went entirely unmentioned. At this point, we're unsure if the company still plans to make the device, though we've reached out for more info. Our original article about the 12K announcement concluded, this new headset and all that's planned to come with it is a chance for the company to show it has left its growing pains behind. 2.5 years later, and it's clear to see that the growing pains remain. So at the moment, this is someone was mentioning it, and I'm pretty sure they was mentioning it in a positive way of like, this is exciting or whatever, but it sounds a bit like Vapourware at the moment. Vapor hardware. It seems that they've not released anything. And even if they do release anything, it sounds really expensive. So it's a bit concerning. So among you who are familiar with the Pimax, were you excited? Are you excited? And do you care? The specs sound very impressive, but this thing sounds very expensive, and God knows when it even comes out. I dare say I'm pretty sure the PlayStation VR 2 will have its PC compatibility by the time this thing comes out, and will still be a heck of a lot cheaper. So yeah, this is the design looks. Does it? I have to say, is this actually something people have worn yet? I think there was a picture I saw of someone wearing it. I'm not sure I like the design. It looks like very blocky. Looks very big and bulky, but at least it's bold and not boring. Although it kind of looks like the design looks like something else I've seen before. But it looks like you're wearing a massive half Xbox on your head. The controllers are using the hoop rings that are similar to the Quest 2 and the PlayStation VR 2 ones somewhat. That thing there is the VR station, looks like a heater. It's got some kind of USB dongle thing. Yeah, I'm not sure about this, man. I mean, the more the better. The more headsets, the better. I don't have any reason to want it to fail or not come out. But kind of looks like Vaporware at the moment. It's 2 years behind. It's just, yeah. Let's see if they drop anything this year. Let me know if any of you guys have pre-ordered any of this stuff, including this $300 wireless thing without even the rest of it that you would need for it to be useful in the first place. And share in the comments if you know anything interesting about it you want to share that we're missing. At the moment, it sounds a bit too expensive to me. We're going to need a few more subscriptions from you guys yet before we can test that bad boy out and cover that. Comments are interesting on this one. Actually got some votes here. So this one's got a little bit more legs, I suppose because it's a couple of days ago now. So let's start with Nevitz here. 7 likes, no dislikes. These are mere prototypes, not product launch. They look like prototypes to me. For all their faults, when Meta talks about new products, they are very clear when they are talking about prototypes and very clear when they are talking about launches. And I believe they do keep their promises. They had them thus far, whereas Pimax is like looking a little bit iffy. Polysix says, there's a reason Pimax rhymes with anticlimax. For the people who are listening only, I'm face palming right now, or rubbing my head, top of my head, vigorously. Pimax. And it's like, it kind of rhymes a little bit, kind of not really, but yeah. I got 4 likes. And another one got 4 likes is by Krogen. Is that a play on Krogan? Is this a Krogan writing comments on VR stuff? I don't believe there's any headsets that will fit a Krogan, so they shouldn't be allowed to put comments really. But anyway, is there anyone who still believes in their promises? Question mark. Kerry MGVR once again says, nope, never did. Arno van Wingerden says, not here. However, leaving the marketing hype and announcements aside, the actual products are beginning to look pretty convincing, especially the Crystal series. Two dislikes on that one. For one like, Kerry says, you must be reading the non-brand ambassador reviews, huh? Non-brand ambassadors. And then it says here from Tony VT, just Pimax being Pimax. Share your thoughts. Do you agree, guys? Have you heard of this company before? Did you pre-order anything, and do you expect anything to come out this century? Please share your thoughts below as well.
Pimax is stirring up the scene again with 2 new headsets. But it's like they're serving a futuristic VR pie in the sky without delivering last year's dessert. Ambition is their game, no doubt. But the VR community's appetite for fulfillment is growing. If Pimax can catch up to their own hype train, we might be in for a treat, minus the high cost. What do you think VR Midnight Society? Pi to the max? Or Pimax in the sky?
Woo! Lord Jesus, this was a long one, Lily. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, integer. It was a blast. Talking shop about all things VR and seeing the future of XR unfold? Count me in any day. The tech tea was piping hot. Absolutely my jam. Thanks for having me, brah. Can't wait for the next one. Now, let's watch the community buzz about all this. Views are gonna hopefully be epic. That, or we're in trouble. Catch you on the flip side.
Well, if you guys enjoyed it as much as Lee did, I hope you already liked. I hope you already subscribed. I hope you already gave us a great rating on whatever platform you may be watching or listening on, such as Spotify, or what was that other one again? Oh yeah, Apple Music, or wherever they do ratings. Apparently it's important to make it visible on those platforms. So thank you in advance for doing that. Share your thoughts on all the subjects, matters, and so forth. There was a lot covered today. Pimax, loads of Meta, VR, XR, news, stuff. We had a little Luckey in there. And we even talked about Apple and potentially people not being able to afford a $3,500 device. If only they were able to price their stuff as valuable, as affordable as the items at JustVRGaming.shop. Thank you for listening and watching. I'm going to go and drink something to recover my voice. Should be a video on the screen that's related, such as another podcast episode. We thank you for your watch time and your subscriptionness.